Hello, great people. Nigeria's political landscape, particularly the camp of the ruling All Progressive Congress, was thrown into confusion as the erstwhile National Chairman, Dr. Abdullahi Umar Ganduje, suddenly resigned. This came as a shock to many because Ganduje, during his time, was a performing chairman. And people were surprised that why would this man suddenly resign, that there's more to it than meets the eye. On this episode of Politics with Joshua Blog, Dr. Omosoladeji, I will be revealing to you how Dr. Abdullahi Umar Ganduje was allegedly forced to resign and the politics behind it. Then we'll be dissecting the action of the stakeholders in the ruling All Progressive Congress, particularly President Bola Tinubu, and the implication for 2027. What are the political dynamics that is shaping the appointment and retrenchment of leadership in the ruling All Progressive Congress? We'll be dissecting all this and a whole lot more on this episode with your short plug, Dr. Omosoladeji. First, I can tell you that the ruling All Progressive Congress is not really as peaceful as the president is saying it is, because we are seeing a sudden should I say retirement now, or should I a sudden exit of the national chairman. Ganduje cited his own reason, which is that he cited health reason. He said that, well, his health could no longer carry the rigorous work of being a chairman of the ruling party, so he has to resign. But in the true sense of it, has been widely reported, Ganduje was allegedly compelled to resign, and this was what happened according to report by Daily Trust. They assert that the head of a particular security agency in Nigeria stormed the home of Abdullahi Umar Ganduje at 2 a.m. in the morning, in the early hours of the morning, and demanded his resignation. Now, when this happened, it points to one thing. Definitely, you cannot carry out such action without the express command of the president and commander-in-chief. You cannot storm the home of the chairman of the ruling party and you demand his resignation. That can only happen if the president wants the chairman of the party to resign, if the president is tired of the chairman of the party. But then, why would President Bola Tinubu be tired of Ganduje? Because during his reign, a lot of political stalwarts defected to the ruling All Progressive Congress. The entire PDP political family in Delta State, they come to the APC. The entire PDP political family in Akwa Ibom State, they come to the APC. The Senate, the APC is almost having a kind of like comfortable majority in the Senate at the moment, and I think they are almost getting to 2/3. And the implication of that is that they can pass any law easily. If the APC senators in the Senate and the honorables in the House of Rep, if they can reach that 2/3, that means that they don't have to care about anybody, whether you are a Nigerian or not, whether you are PDP or Labour Party. They can easily pass anything, including a tenure extension for President Bola Tinubu. But we'll dissect that in details at another time. Now, what is happening in the APC and what is the relationship between Ganduje and the presidency at the moment? Because Dr. Abdullahi Umar Ganduje boasted about 2027 as the chairman of the ruling party. He was confident about 2027 that 2027 will be a walkover for President Bola Tinubu, and he worked very hard, and he was still even working hard to capture more states. And if you look at his energy recently, definitely you know that Ganduje is very active. You know, he was very active during the welcome rally for Governor Umo Eno in Akwa Ibom State, and up to the point of his retirement. Even the day he was to kind of like announce his retirement, he still visited Niger State to kind of like, sympathize with the people and government of Niger State as regards the flood that ravaged the state and some insurgency that was perpetrated in the state. So if you look at it, for somebody that active, for somebody that posted about 2027, so for somebody that even touted about Nigeria being a one-party state and said there's nothing wrong with it, before the president, during his address in the National Assembly, said, well, he's not in support of a one-party state, why would such a person be removed unceremoniously? Well, I can tell you from my lens as a political scientist that, you see, presidents like to have a firm grip on two things, whether president, whether governors. And don't take my word for it, just observe the Nigerian political landscape. They like to have a firm grip on two things, which is one, the legislature, whether either the State House of Assembly or the National Assembly, they like to have a firm grip on the presiding officers. And you can see that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu have a strong grip on Godswill Akpabio, so much so that some people are even calling him Tinubu's real Akpabio. And if you look at the states across the federation, you see that the governors usually have a strong grip on the legislature. Now, the second thing that governors and presidents like to have a firm grip on is the political party, and that is why Bola Ahmed Tinubu is taking the bull by the horn. About what could make Bola Ahmed Tinubu to say that, okay, let us remove Abdullahi Ganduje. What are the things that we can point to? Number one is the party politics, in the sense that if you look at the region of Nigeria, the chairman that Ganduje took over from, who happens to be the former governor of Nasarawa State, I can't remember his name at the moment, that former governor of Nasarawa State that Ganduje took over from as chairman of the ruling All Progressive Congress, is from the North Central region. So when Ganduje took over, Ganduje is from the northwest part of Nigeria. So there's been this clamor from people in the north central that, well, the chairmanship should naturally be returned to them and not go to the northwest. But Tinubu gave it to Ganduje because Ganduje is his trusted ally. And you will recall that chairman, that former governor of Nasarawa State, during the election, wasn't a major supporter of Bola Ahmed Tinubu. It was the one that declared Ahmed Lawan as the consensus candidate of the party. But at the end of the day, Bola Ahmed Tinubu was able to use his political sagacity to triumph. So the North Central agitation has been in the picture. But that said, you see, if the president doesn't want Ganduje to leave that office of the national chairman, definitely he won't exit that office. So definitely the president doesn't want him anymore, and that is why he has to go. But then there is also a Shettima factor. Is President Bola Ahmed Tinubu easing out Abdullahi Ganduje in order to be able to have the opportunity to deal with Shettima, in the sense that if the office of the national chairman is vacant, the person that will step in is the deputy national chairman from that region. Now, the deputy national chairman has stepped in, and in the person of Abubakar Dalori. So, Abubakar Dalori, the interesting twist is that Abubakar Dalori is from Borno State, and Kashim Shettima is also from Borno State. And it is impossible for you to have the president from the southwest, then you have the vice president from Borno State, and you also have the national chairman of the ruling APC from Borno State. So either ways you look at it, one of them must go. If Dalori is retained, definitely Kashim Shettima must go at most 2027. So is this a perfect politics being played by Bola Ahmed Tinubu to scheme out Kashim Shettima as being suspected in the political cycle? Now, another thing we need to look at is the Kwankwaso effect. You will recall that Rabiu Kwankwaso, former governor of Kano State, is currently the political godfather. Kwankwaso is of the APC, and President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has cornered Kwankwaso so much so that they met abroad at one point in time, and Bola Ahmed Tinubu have perfect plans with Rabiu Kwankwaso. But then, when Kwankwaso was to defect, Ganduje went to the public and he was bragging because he and Rabiu Kwankwaso are political foes. So, because they are political enemies, Ganduje didn't want Kwankwaso to come over. And there are reports that Kwankwaso gave the president a condition that if you truly want me in the APC, if you think I'm a person of value, then Ganduje has to go. Kwankwaso argued that he is currently the political godfather of Kano State, and if he comes into Kano State and Ganduje is still the national chairman, definitely he will lose the control of the state political structure. So Ganduje has to resign, or Tinubu have to remove him, so that he, when he comes into the APC, can control the structure of the ruling party. So that is one of the demands. So is Bola Ahmed Tinubu yielding to the demand of Rabiu Kwankwaso? Then another thing is that about the Kwankwaso factor is that Bola Ahmed Tinubu needs Kano. Because if the political dynamics in the north right now is anything to go by, Bola Ahmed Tinubu needs to win in the K state. He knows this and is aware of it. And Kano is one of the K states in Nigeria. You know, the K state, that the result from those states are usually massive. So Bola Ahmed Tinubu need to secure the K-State for himself, and that's why there are speculations that he wants to appoint Rabiu Kwankwaso as his vice presidential candidate in 2027. So you would see that, Tinubu needs Kano, and is Tinubu going for Rabiu Kwankwaso as a substitute to Abdullahi Ganduje? Another thing still on the Kwankwaso factor is that Atiku has reportedly been having a dialogue conversation with Rabiu Kwankwaso and is already cooperating. So when they reportedly told the president, it was reported that the president thought he needs to act fast because he can't afford to lose Rabiu Kwankwaso. But right now, the acting chairman of the APC, Abubakar Dalori, the big question is that there is a convention coming in November. Will Dalori still be able to maintain his seat or not? The big question is that, does he have the political sagacity, or is it a favorable candidate of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu? Well, time will tell. But then, if power in the political party, as regards the leadership of the All Progressive Congress, if the power is to go back to the North Central, who are the likely people that Bola Ahmed Tinubu who are the people that Bola Ahmed Tinubu is likely to use? And I'll give you three names. One is Senator Tanko Al-Makura, who happens to be the former governor of Nasarawa State. Is a close ally of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and he is of the CPC bloc. The party that merged into APC is ACN, CPC, then a part of ABGA and a part of the PDP at that point in time. So Tanko Amakura is of the CPC bloc. So Tinubu may be using him to pacify the aggrieved CPC members, which is the Buhari boys, the Buhari faction that are threatening fire and brimstone in the ruling All Progressive Congress. Now, option 2 for Bola Ahmed Tinubu reportedly is Senator George Akume, who happens to be the current secretary to the government of the Federation. Bola Ahmed Tinubu may decide to use him because he has worked with him, and Bola Ahmed Tinubu may have gained trust over time. Now, the third option for Bola Ahmed Tinubu is Senator Mohammed Sani Musa, who also happens to be a trusted ally of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. One thing I can tell you is that definitely who will be the chairman of the ruling All Progressive Congress will be somebody that would apparently be handpicked by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. But will Bola Ahmed Tinubu be able to calm the storm that is raging in the ruling All Progressive Congress? Definitely, it is something that we need to watch out for. It's been an interesting time with you on this episode of Politics with your short blog, Dr. Omosoladeji. Subscribe, turn on your notification button, catch up in my past video. See you in my next video. I love you all sincerely.